I recognize that this is an impromptu one, so I'm going to make sure that the recording is available for everyone. So, welcome to today's session. For those of you that are in the school community, I know that we just put this in, so the recording will remain available for you. For those that are watching on social media, it's free for today, and we'll take it from there. All right. So the topic for today is why many aspiring PMs struggle to get hired, even when they are seemingly doing all the right things. And the issue here is that people are busy, you are learning, you are trying, but your progress is slow. The problem is not that you're not making effort, is that the effort is kind of scattered. You're not doing things in the right order to help you make the progress that you want to make. I know this because that's how I was as well. Okay. I'm going to quickly list out a few things that will help you grow fast, move to your transition fast, and a few things that will slow you down. The first thing that will help you go fast is choosing the right direction. You want to be choosing early. You decide whether you are going to be, what type of PM role you want, because not everybody should be a project manager from day one. No. Some people need to go into project coordination. Some people need to do project analyst roles, junior project manager roles. Some people need to be in IT, or you need to decide that I'm going for IT or I'm going for construction. Those decisions you need to make quickly, right? So that you face that lane and you focus on it after you've known all the basics. Why is it important? Because project management fundamentally is the same everywhere, but a construction project manager is different from an IT project manager, right? Yes, the IT project manager will have to learn the construction side of things and vice versa, right? And then there's some general project management kind of roles. But if you want to go for those specialist roles, which is where the money is, you need to pick a lane and walk in that lane. Okay, so people need to choose in time. Another thing people do is that they start applying, they just go straight. I want to go, I have transferable skills, so I'm going to apply straight for a senior project manager role. If you're in a new country, you are just starting out. Sometimes that's not the right thing to do. And you have to remember that because you're applying for a junior project manager role, it's not a demotion, it's just a step in. You're stepping in. You do it for 6 months, then they understand your skills, and then you get promoted very quickly. So you have to have an open mind, be flexible about this project management transition thing. Now, am I saying you should not go for a senior project manager role or a project manager role? Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need to do your assessment, understand where you are, go for a few interviews. If you're ready, if you think you're ready for interviews, go see what kind of questions you get asked, and then and then face the lane that you need to be on. If you've gone for a boot camp, you should also know based on your experience where you should be on. Okay. So if you're just going generalist after you've known the basics, it will just slow you down rather than help you go fast. Then the next thing you want to do if you really want to go fast is you need to treat. I like to say, well, my sister was looking for a job when she first came to the UK. I told her that you have to treat this job search like a project. And it's the truth. I still stand by it now. She's a testing manager. But even looking for a project role, you need to treat it like a project. Be clear what outcome you want, what kind of role, what industry, like we said before, what's the timeline, what are the actions that you need to take, because every small action you take leads you further into the direction you want to go. But if you are not even clear on what the actions are, then you're not going to make the moves. Then you want to also be able to review the actions you're taking. Is it helping? Is it moving you in the right direction? Are you starting to feel more confident? Do you know what you're doing now? Do you understand risk management better? Can you say with your hand on your heart that I know how to run a risk workshop? I know what risk management is about. I know how to scope my projects. I know what to do when there's conflict between two stakeholders in my meeting. If can you start saying those things confidently? And you don't say confidently because you were taught it. You say confidently because you have done it. Okay. So you have to, if you treat this transition as a project with a clear timeline and you're measuring what you're doing, you'll be able to move faster in that direction, right? If you don't manage it, it will just drift. If you think it's going to happen in the sweet by and by, no, it won't. Especially not now with how the market is. You have to be intentional about every move you make. Now, the third thing is that the third accelerator is you need to build proof alongside your learning. So you're not going to sit waiting to have everything ready, finish all your certifications, have everything, all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed. No, you need to start building proof quickly because when it's time for an interview, that's all the hiring manager cares about. Prove to me that you can do the job. Prove to me that you have the experience and the evidence to do this job well. Prove it to me. And you prove it by what you say and how you say it, right? So what you need to do is to start building that evidence. You need to learn, you need to apply it immediately, and you need to capture the output. Now we teach about all of those things inside the PM launch lab. What are you learning? There are skills that you need to learn now. And I'm not just talking about hard skills like PM MS project or anything like that. I'm talking about even soft skills, how you manage people, how you deal with conflicts, how you lead your kickoff meeting, how you do your reporting. All of those things are skills that you must have in project management. And they're particularly more important now in this AI age because AI is doing some of the mundane tasks for project managers now, right? It's doing the mundane tasks. So you need to up your level so that you could remain relevant in project management. Okay. Now, there's some things that also slow you down when you are waiting for permission. Some people are waiting to have the role before. They are waiting to be a manager. They're waiting for somebody to give them a chance. Nobody is going to save you. Like I'm sure you've heard that saying before. No one is going to give you a chance. You create your own chances. You create your own chances by creating your own projects, by going to volunteer somewhere, by joining a boot camp, whatever you need to do. And there are levels. You can't say because you're not financially capable, so you can't, there's nothing for you to do. That's not true. Everything I'm saying is what I have done. I've created and started a project from beginning to end by myself. I volunteered. I said, hey, I want to run a project in my church. And I ran it exactly like a project would be run. And I was able to talk about it. My clients have done exactly the same thing for me. That's what she did. She was creating a shed in her house and she turned it into a project and she was able to talk about it, right? So you cannot say that there's no project for you to do or develop or create. You can create, even if it's a website. If you're going into IT project management, you can create a website. That's a project, right? So think outside of the box, right? When it comes to project management and getting your experience. You also have experiences that you already have and know you would have heard about. You need to be able to transfer your experiences into project management language. We teach that in the community, right? But apart from that, if you need more experience, if it's not enough, then find other opportunities to level up your project management experience, right? You have to take the initiative. If you cannot take the initiative and even that, then then it's going to be hard because when you start working, that is going to be your bread and butter. They're expecting you to be proactive. They're expecting you to take initiative. The project managers that do well are not the ones that are waiting for someone to tell them, okay, what do I need to do next? Or what's the next step? No, it's the people that see the problem, articulate the problem, understand, okay, this is what is going on. These are the steps I've taken. Okay, but we haven't been able to resolve it, so I need more help. And you come to the table with your own opinion. I think we can do A, B, or C. And then your manager says, all right, okay, you've thought about it, but have you thought about B, C, and D or whatever? And then they make an informed decision. So you need to be proactive because AI cannot take that from us, right? So all of those soft skills, like I keep mentioning, is really, really important. You need to be adaptive as well in project management. Now, another thing that slows you down is you are confusing. You think being busy is momentum. No, if you're busy in the wrong direction, you will just be busy in the wrong direction and go to the top of the ladder. Have you ever seen somebody that is there's a cartoon like that somebody is climbing a ladder to the top of the wrong building. So you're going to make all that effort and get to the top of the building, but it's on the wrong building. So it's a waste of time, right? So you need to be conscious. You need to be intentional about the actions that you're taking, right? And I say this because, again, even in project management, when you get the role, you can be working on a project, you can be rushing to deliver and forget what you're delivering, the outcome you're trying to get to, right? Then people, the developers, the technical team, other people working on it will start bringing in their own ideas, which start taking you away from the budget you have and the scope that you had for your project. So that is why it's always important to take a moment every day, every week, and say, am I just being busy? Or is this activity that I'm doing today, is it taking me one step further to where I want to be? Or is it taking me one step further to where this project needs to be? Busy is not momentum, right? So if you need to direct everything that you're doing. The third thing that slows you down sometimes is that you're trying to be perfect before you even before you're trying to be perfect. Um, you want your CV to be polished, everything beautiful first. You want your LinkedIn profile to be perfect. You start overthinking. You're not making any project. You're not making any progress because you're waiting for everything to be correct, everything to be very good. You want the right project. I'll give you a story. I wanted to work in IT very, very badly. That's where I wanted to go. But my first project apart from the projects I did in when I was in banking, those are the things that I transferred as projects into my CV. But my first project in the UK was a voluntary work job, and it certainly wasn't in IT. Now, I was sitting there waiting for an IT project, but I didn't get one. So I had to take the project that I got, and it gave me something to put on my CV to then get the IT role. Because really, when they're looking for an IT project manager, yes, they want somebody that understands the domain. They want somebody that understands IT, but fundamentally, they don't need your IT experience. They don't need you to understand SaaS. They don't need you to understand everything, the back end of creating a complete IT solution. They have technical experts for that. They just need you to know enough about it to be able to sit in the room and ask intelligent questions, right? And you build that with time. So if there's somebody that is really, really good at the technical things and is not good at project management itself, they won't hire that person. But if somebody is very, very good at project management, at delivering, right, and is not as good as they would have liked in the IT aspects and in the domain knowledge, but he has enough basic knowledge, they will take that person. Why? Because the domain knowledge can be learned. If the person is really good at project management, he will build relationships, he or she will build relationships and learn the things. I mean, I've been in project management for 15 years. I've worked on different projects in every area, even in construction, and I've learned along the way, right? I've worked on very weird projects and I've worked on very um, difficult and complex projects as well. But everything is learnable. It's relationships, it's learning on the job, being adaptable. So your project management skills is the first thing. So if you want to go into tech IT and you haven't gotten the IT role, but you've gotten a project management role, take it, do it for a while, and then move. I'll tell you what I did. I took that voluntary work and then joined the boot camp to get the IT experience that I wanted. So I did two things at the same time. It was a tough time for me then, but that's what I did to move forward. Okay, so let me tell you about the things that you really need to do to get into project management. Just a quick run through. I teach all of this in the membership, but I'll just run through them. You need to understand project management, understand the basics, understand the role. If you do not know the fundamentals of project management, then it's not, you can't really move forward. Understand what each of those roles are, because as PMO, there are many routes into project management. You don't all have to start at project manager level, right? Then you understand the basics, be clear on the fundamentals. If you can take a certification, by all means take it. But if you have a certification and you have no experience, it means nothing as well. Okay. Then if it's IT project management you want to go into, pick an IT style problem to solve. right? You pick a website to create. There are many IT, create an app, create a chatbot, right? Create something that is in the IT domain or find a way to volunteer in that space. And there are many places to volunteer as well if you don't want to join a boot camp. But if it's IT you want to go into, then you need to be particular about taking on IT. Do you know that even in IT projects, there are specific domains? You can be a data analyst and a data project manager. You can be a SaaS project manager. You might be a project manager with specialism in ERP and CRM. Like there are many brands, there are many areas of project management. There are people that stay all their life in finance project, managing projects that deal with finance. Right, that's a specialist skills, a specialist skill, right? So you decide, and I always say that if you're starting in project management, start from the industry that you know, that you already understand, and then you can develop further from there. Okay, then you run it like a project. Like I said, when you find the project to do, you run it like a project. You turn it into proof. You document what you did, so you can talk about it, and then you can use it to apply. You give the length, the depth of what you did. You talk about it in your interviews. You say how big it was, who you had to interact with, the problems you had, the challenges you had to overcome. All of that, you put it down, and then you use it to apply. Okay. Now, I'll say this because I get it a lot, and just so that you know, the hard truth here is project management work is a lot of written work. Not because people want you to keep on writing, but because we need to document. We need to have proof of the thinking of how we made our decisions. And because we're spending money, whether you're working for a government agency or you're working for the private sector, you need to document, you need to have proof because you can leave the project tomorrow. Somebody else that takes on the project needs to know how you got to your decisions, the risks that are on the project, what you've done so far, what the scope is, what the business case is, what the constraints are. There's so much that we need to be clear about. So documentation, there's a lot of documentation in project management, but there's also a lot of stakeholder management in project management, right? So if you don't have the basics, and what I mean by basics is you don't know how to use Word, you don't know how to use Excel, you can't create a simple document, there's no clear communication, right? Start learning those things. What I'm going to try and do in the group is I'm going to create a playlist of videos, not my videos, of how to learn Word, how to learn Excel. That will be easy for you. I think I have a playlist for Excel specifically. I'll put it in the group. So learn it. I'm not saying you have to be an expert. If you get a good organization to work with, they will even teach you the levels of project management, Excel skills. You don't have to be an Excel, but if you don't know even how to share a screen, you need to learn that. That's the base. That's 101. That's even before 101. So you need to start learning that in parallel to everything you're doing. You're not, I'm not saying you're behind or anything. I'm saying that you just need to learn that because you can't escape it in project management. Okay. And the era of project managers that just tick boxes, that just have a checklist. Oh, have you done this tick? Have you done this tick? That has gone because IT and data can, and what am I saying? AI can do that. It's not about ticking boxes. It's about applying your intuition, applying project management thinking, applying, asking the right questions. Don't just say they tell you they've done it, yes, and you just say okay, that's done. But or they tell you that they're late. Oh, have you done your task? No, it will be ready in 2 days' time. You should be asking, hang on, why is there a delay? Why is it going to take 2 days and 2 extra days? And you should be checking. So, what is the impact of this delay? And are there workarounds to this delay? Right? All of those things are things you need to be asking as a project manager. It's not enough for you to just tick the boxes. Nobody wants that now. And nobody's hiring for that now. Right? So what matters is your adaptability because again, in project management, things change so easily. You can start one project today, you'll get halfway, and maybe the sponsor decides that is no longer a good fit or it's not a project that they want to do, right? And then they change it. So you need to make sure that you are proactive and you're learning while you're delivering and you're adaptable as well. So that is why I've said mainly that experience is key, right? And that's what the 5 day challenge is first. It's the fundamental, it's the very beginning. It's what you need to do to get started, how you need to create a project. If you take the 5 day challenge, you can run any project. I'm not giving you the depth very, very deep into it, but I'm giving you the structure, all the things you need to think about. It's all there, right? So you can use that as your basis for starting a project. Any project starts the way we've itemized it there. So you will have a good understanding of how how projects are managed just from the 5 day challenge. So that's why it's always good to start there. When you start with the 5 day challenge, put your comments. I have a look. I come here every week and we'll talk through what you've done, how you've done it, the other things that you need to think about in what you have delivered as well. Okay, so you now need to think about it. What are the things that you are doing that's slowing down your project, and what are the things that you now need to start doing to accelerate your progress to becoming a project manager? Because there are many things that you can do, but not doing anything or waiting and hoping that it will happen is is not the right strategy. And I've created this group, this community, so that no one has any excuses in this year. There are literally no excuses. There are tiers, there are bands at which you can start. Start from where you are. Don't say because of finances you can't start. I've given you tools to be able to start. And then when you're ready for more, when you're ready to go more in depth, when you're ready to really push to the finish line, then you join the other tiers and you make your progress that way. Right? There's no excuses. Start from where you are and keep moving. Okay. So I will be this meeting will happen every Tuesday at 6 o'clock going forward. I think it's going to be 6, but I'll let you know if it turns out to be 7 p.m. I'll come every Tuesday and we'll just walk through two things I want to do when I meet with you on Tuesday. I might teach like I've taught today, or I'll ask it's an open session. Show me what you've done, what project you've delivered, and we'll walk through it. Next week, I think it's going to be more than just one day. I'll come and see your progress on the challenge as well and give you feedback so that it helps you move forward. All right. So thank you for listening. The replay will be available shortly. I'll put it in the group. There's a section that we're going to keep for the group. Thank you, Lola, Ayo, for attending as well. So thank you. All right. So I'm just going to stop recording now.